I said before that budget microphones are getting really good now. And ooh boy, today's microphone is no exception. This is the Neat Microphones Bumblebee II. It is a USB condenser microphone that honestly is not very exciting at all. But in a way, that's pretty great because you can get this microphone as low as $55 in the US, which is incredible. Now, I do have their bigger King B2, which is an XLR microphone, in for review as well. We'll get to that in a future video. This video is brought to you by CuriosityStream. Get access to my own streaming site Nebula, where my videos are early, and I have an exclusive documentary series bundled with CuriosityStream linked below. For now, we're taking a look at this little guy. This is a really tiny little microphone, hence the Bumblebee name, USB-C connectivity, headphone amp, and it actually has a three-way toggle dial here to switch between adjusting your microphone gain, your system volume, and the balance or the loop through to your headphones, which is what Elgato's Wave 3 microphone has. And very few microphones have that full stack of customizable features built into the dial, so that's pretty cool. It is originally a $100 microphone, but it's on sale at this point. It's been a while since it came out. It's on sale enough at this point that multiple places have it for $55 or $60, which is a really good price point to get in on a microphone that is best described as inoffensive. And that's kind of a good thing. Neat Microphones' previous mics went all in on the B theme, and it was kind of a little weird. This one is just basic black. You can barely even see it in the frame here. There we go with my hand behind it. It's basic, it's small, it stays out of your way. By default, it comes mounted on this little desk stand, which is admittedly not super useful for most cases, but is better than not coming with anything. And it has a microphone arm clamp built into that system, so you can quickly spin it up. There's no shock mount of any kind, so if I start like smacking the mic arm or something, you know, to simulate it being on your desk, it's gonna pick some stuff up. But overall, the quality is decent. That's about all I can say for it. Like, and that's not a bad thing, but there's nothing particularly spectacular about it or anything like that. It is a decent option, considering for $50, most of the condenser microphones, especially the USB ones that you can pick up, generally sound pretty cheap, pretty rattly, pretty compressed, pretty crappy. This one sounds like a real microphone and is super affordable. That's really all there is to say about it. I'm not going to waste too much more of your time. Let's roll the comparisons. 3 rings for the Oven Kings under the sky, 7 for the Dwarf Lords in their halls of stone, 9 for the mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. 3 rings for the Oven Kings under the sky, 7 for the Dwarf Lords in their halls of stone, 9 for the mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. 3 rings for the Oven Kings under the sky, 7 for the Dwarf Lords in their halls of stone, 9 for the mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. 3 rings for the Oven Kings under the sky, 7 for the Dwarf Lords in their halls of stone, 9 for the mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. 3 rings for the Oven Kings under the sky, 7 for the Dwarf Lords in their halls of stone, 9 for the mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. 3 rings for the Oven Kings under the sky, 7 for the Dwarf Lords in their halls of stone, 9 for the mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. 3 rings for the Oven Kings under the sky, 7 for the Dwarf Lords in their halls of stone, 9 for the mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. 3 rings for the Oven Kings under the sky, 7 for the Dwarf Lords in their halls of stone, 9 for the mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. 3 rings for the Oven Kings under the sky, 7 for the Dwarf Lords in their halls of stone, 9 for the mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. 3 rings for the Oven Kings under the sky, 7 for the Dwarf Lords in their halls of stone, 9 for the mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. This is a talking while typing test, talking while typing on mountain switches of some sort, talking while typing and clicking, general background noise. Yeah. Talking while typing on box royal switches. Talking while typing, tippity tap, click, 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 click. Talking while typing on box royal switches. Talking while typing, talking while clicking. Now we'll do my talking while typing test. Talking while typing, typing on box royale switches. Tippity tap, talking, talking, clicking, tippity clocking. And here's the white noise test. We're in front of the microphone, going around behind the microphone, to the left, to the right, on top, below, and back in front. Talking while typing on box royal switches. Talking while typing. Click, 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 click. Talking while typing, talking while typing on mountain blue switches. Talking while typing, clicking, general sounds. There you go. Talking while typing on mountain blue switches. Talking while typing and clicking and general noise. The other thing to talk about, since I have been bringing it up in my past couple microphone reviews, is the headphone amp. It does have a built-in headphone amp where you can loop through your system sound as well as get a real-time audio playback through your microphone to your headphones. It powers my DT990 Pro X's without issue. It doesn't have any hissing or interference sound or anything like that. It also doesn't clip the microphone preview in the headphone thing, which the 512 Audio Tempest that I just reviewed did. It doesn't sound super amazing, but sounds about in line with the 512 Tempest, so it sounds a little bit better than the Elgato Wave headphone amp. Can't really quantify that a whole heck of a lot, but pretty solid. I greatly appreciate that, and the added features to control your mic on board are pretty nice. However, the dials for doing so are very fiddly and really start to like you're gonna make a lot of sound in your microphone doing that. It does have a mute button, so I can mute and adjust from there, but of course the mute makes a giant click into the microphone. This is what I was talking about in the last video of USB microphone workflows kind of sucking for that reason, and the same thing, the headphone cable and the USB cable go into the bottom of the microphone, which kind of works with the desktop stand because you can slide it out the back through this little clip and it works fine. When it's mounted on here on a microphone arm, you kind of want it facing down, and then you start, bending off your cable and stuff. So I think I'm going to make a broad statement that this kind of represents the problems of USB microphones that need solved in 2023 and moving forward, is the quality and the production behind them is really catching up, but the workflow still kind of sucks, despite the fact that the point of buying one over, a hardware analog setup would be the benefit of the plug-and-play workflow. Little things that need worked out. I'm glad to finally be back on the microphone review train. I have lots more to review, and you can see them before anyone else, just like this video was, on my own video site, Nebula. I have videos there early, ad-free, and there's lots of Nebula exclusive content, such as extended interviews and my Nebula original documentary series, Print Screen, about the history of streaming and content creation. Otherwise, super inoffensive, has a fairly flat, profile going for it. Sounds a little decent processed, but otherwise, it's kind of it. Hope you enjoyed. Product links will be in the description, as well as a review of the last condenser microphone USB that I reviewed, which was a large diaphragm from 512, that Tempest I mentioned, as well as my playlist of all my other microphone reviews, as you never want to buy one based on a singular video. And of course, go look up some other reviews as well. Hit the like button and remember to be kind, rewind, and have a happy holiday.